All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for podcast number 54.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we've got our Twitch stream here. This is going to be our first podcast where the questions will not only be from the previous week.
Yeah, so this one might be a bit longer than normal.
This one might be a bit longer.
Because we've
Lots
got
of
live
Q&A.
questions and last week's questions. So,
but we are going to be getting live questions also from Twitch chat. So be sure to tune into that twitch.tv/semblance of sanity _YT. I've got that down pretty well.
Right.
You say?
Yeah,
It's like, not too bad. Not too bad.
Sanity _YT.
Yeah, this is great because the Twitch chat is going right there, cringing, laughing, and just overall just enjoying this and stuff. So we got to give a shout out. We're going back to some of our oldest VIPs. Steve on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support, dude.
He is the cinnamon roll.
He is the cinnamon roll of not only our Discord,
nothing
but the Patreon
against
itself.
you, Chewed, because you are also a cinnamon roll. You are a wonderful cinnamon roll.
Best doggo, if you're here in Twitch chat, make some noise. But
Steve, oh my gosh, he is just the sweetest guy ever. He is awesome.
So Steve, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the encouragement.
It means so much to us.
Yeah. So podcast, Twitch, this is happening,
and we already kind of talked about a lot of the stuff of
we already kind of talked about it,
and,
but let's just run over it again really quickly. First things first. We're going to be doing the podcast on Twitch now, 3 p.m. PST, with the live Twitch audience and stuff. So the VODs will be coming out on YouTube, but they will be a little bit later than normal.
So for YouTube peeps, that might seem a little bit weird because you expect the podcast on Mondays, but then it comes out.
Right, now they might be paired with Hunter x Hunter on Tuesday or the Wednesday reaction.
Right.
So I would say just get used to that. That's going to be the thing. We will be doing manga reactions to Berserk.
Yes.
Starting tomorrow on Tuesday. So I guess whenever this comes out, it might be the same
YouTube,
day. But the main thing will be that it's Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's right.
Join us. It's going to be awesome.
So you might actually want to we'll probably want to do like a little announcement or something so that they know that we're doing it live for that. Or there might be a chapter or volume of Berserk that's just coming on your way already by the time you even hear about it. Isn't that awesome?
Time traveled, weird, out of context stuff.
Butterfly effect. Not really, but yeah.
Then we will also be doing some gaming streams.
Right.
These will be coming out, I would say, more TBA with regards to when they'll be coming out. But expect on our Twitch some intermittent streams. What kind of stuff? Maybe some casual Slay the Spire runs.
Yeah,
with
Slay the Spires.
Some chill discussion and stuff. Maybe just some general talking events or something. Maybe group-based events like Quiplash or Jackbox, just games in general.
Those are great. And then of course also Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yes,
because
this is one that we're going to build up to though. This is not coming
Caleb
immediately.
is super hyped about
I am so hyped, guys. You don't understand how hyped I am to play a co-op RPG with this guy.
Well, just co-op RPG at all. The fact that exists is really cool.
I usually had to try and rope him in with MMOs or MOBAs and stuff. But now that we're coming up really close. By the way, do you have any special things you wanted to say about your book?
About the book. Let's see. Well, there are a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
I've been making a lot of awesome editing progress, which is fantastic. I do have some cool things that are in the works. A lot of it is based on hearing back from other people. I do have an updated cover art that got more or less done. I'm still talking with the person for little minor fixes and things.
Sure.
So you guys will be able to see that once that is done. I'll make an announcement about that. But it looks really cool. Like what you've already seen, what I've already shown you guys is kind of the art, but that wasn't formatted for being an actual cover of a book with the dimensions and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Just all that other stuff, even the author name that's going to be posted on there. So that'll be kind of interesting once that happens, because then you guys will know our last name, which will be interesting because I'm not actually using an author pseudonym. But that'll be cool. That'll be interesting. That will be interesting indeed.
All right, so Twitch chat asking things like, "Well, Dark Souls gameplay for Berserk references?" I mean, maybe.
But we try to keep our streams positive, and we would end up just rage quitting.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not good gamers. That's the thing. That's got to be a tagline or something. We lose our semblance of sanity.
Right.
We are bad gamers.
We're bad gamers indeed.
I mean, you were good at Dota 2.
I was
way back when.
Not to toot my own horn, but that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you thought about playing Attack on Titan, the game?
I've heard about that.
I don't know.
Is that the recent one or the old one? Because I think there are a couple. Because they just did everything except season 2 for a long time.
I mean, we'll see, right? Positive Berserk streams, lol. yes, basically. But the semblance of sanity. We're bad at games.
Yeah.
Yep. Hi, Lariat.
I did practice on the arena mode of Divinity though, because Caleb said that there were a lot of weird mechanics, and I found out that there are a lot of weird mechanics, but I feel confident that we will not completely crash and burn.
Yeah.
When we start playing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. One of the things that I would also really like to have at some point on here is through the podcast being on Twitch, through the podcast being something on a platform that we haven't really invested any energy into as of yet. Eventually, once this becomes a much more consistent podcast and stuff, and we've been, honing all the formatting stuff on here, we're going to be upgrading this whole experience with you guys. That's another part of it that is not going to be coming necessarily, this week or something, but this whole experience that you see here with our lovely little background kun and just the general experience with us might change. To be a little bit more flashy and special, and then eventually bringing in guests for the podcast and stuff.
That would be cool.
We have a couple people that we really would like to have more discussion-based kind of interactions with surrounding some of our favorite shows.
To hang out and talk to these people, would be cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And who knows? Maybe it'll be someone that you would like to see us talk to and stuff. But yeah.
No, I have finished that gallon of water many times, just not yet today.
One of the things that you might not know about us is that we consume a lot of food and water. So we both where's my gallon of water? It's not here right now. But we have like a ridiculous amount of stuff we're consuming. So streams will be a little bit more of a vulnerable experience as we reveal like...
We are human beings. We're not an android joined below the waist.
It's true.
Yeah.
We have to consume things, and that's...
In order to survive.
In order to survive, indeed.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the questions real quick here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going to the questions from the previous week's podcast on YouTube. And we will take questions, from there in particular. But if you would like to get the actual questions for the future and stuff, be here on Twitch. Yeah. Be here live. We will take feedback with regards to time zones if this ends up not being the best time. But as of right now, 3 p.m. PST is going to be the start time for the foreseeable future.
Oh, here's a good question before we get started with that. Would we ever put a show on the poll if the show isn't out yet? Like, it hasn't started yet. Like, it's an upcoming, seasonal show that looks, really good and all that stuff.
I would say no for the most part.
Yeah, probably not. Like, if it's something that we're just gonna watch, like the next season of MHA, for instance, or Attack on Titan or whatever, then, we'll just watch it as it comes out. But
we'll expect it in that case.
Yeah. For new shows, we kind of want to, make sure that it isn't something that's gonna crash and burn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the gist of it. First question that we had from last week is from Graceful Rival Lex. It's in reverse order.
Yeah.
It says, today in Fix That Anime, we will see a battle to the death between brothers, the biggest dispute on the channel. Caleb will be defending his favorite anime that Caleb considers as one of the greats. He thinks that post-episode 18 of this anime became one of the greatest anime in history. It's ReZero.
Oh, yes. Good old ReZero.
Oh, boy. So, guys, this anime, ReZero, for those of you that had seen it, okay. After episode 18, in my opinion, the show just goes to the pits.
I mean, episode 18 is the true finale.
It's the true finale. It's a
Let's be real.
fantastic build up to that with only
Yep.
some minor missteps along the way. And some of them are bigger than others, but I would say that you can't really save those final few episodes of ReZero. You can't fix them, Lex. I'm sorry if you're here in Twitch chat or when you listen to this. I do not believe that...
I do not hold to that. I would say it absolutely could be fixed.
Go for it. This is why you're here.
If you look at what ReZero did really well, it kept the focus of the show very simple, right? Its main character was actually quite good. Like, and you agree with me on this.
With you, yeah.
Subaru was fantastic. He cared a lot. Rem and Amelia also were pretty good. Now, the stuff that happened in the show with them, that's where most of the contention comes up, but I feel like where it went wrong was that it ended up getting too focused on a world that we did not inherently care about, right?
Gotcha.
The whale.
Yeah.
Why was that there? I get that it's an obstacle, but why? The person that gets the side character that gets the sudden development, while fighting the whale. Not that it wasn't nice, but why should we care about this guy?
Yeah.
So
let's now get a question or two from Twitch. If you have a question you'd like to ask it here, and we will answer it. I'm going to look to see if there are any that we might have missed.
Yeah.
How do question points for the Discord factions work if we ask here? Vraycos, that's a very good question. So for those of you that don't know, Discord, our Discord that if you support us on any level through Patreon you can get access to, is going to be doing events. And these events, one of them is going to be basically repping your faction in these podcasts. So Vray, all you have to do is leave a question here live on Twitch that gets asked and represent your faction once. You only need to do it once. We're going to edit that event so we don't have like a million people trying and only a few getting through. So all that needs to be done is get one question through.
Favorite anime YouTubers?
Oh, favorite anime YouTubers?
Giguk is really funny.
I really like Giguk.
We can't watch his videos as much now because...
I really like Unique Namesaurus. Unique Namesaurus isn't strictly just anime.
Oh, yeah.
They've done a really good Ruby and some Legend of Korra, Avatar The Last Airbender videos, but they also have a really good video on like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
ProZD is also amazing, but he's not really an anime YouTuber.
ProZD is basically like the closest thing to being an anime YouTuber while not actually being an anime YouTuber. Why are you just the greatest people ever? Thanks, Razor Rocker.
That is awesome that you think so highly of us.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's the same question. Would it be out yet? Oh, is there a chance that you guys could possibly make an exception for Seven Deadly Sins? I know it hasn't been high up on your list of watching anime. Even if the MC is considered to be OP, they really, really balance it well and nicely. It has great comedy and story. Thanks, You Just Been Blacked. Wow.
I've heard that show is quite funny. There's a lot of shows though that we do need to watch. So it's
Seven Deadly Sins is not
if it's not high on our list, that does not mean that it is like we think it's a bad show.
We just don't have a high priority in watching it soon.
Because like there are so many shows that we really want to watch. Like Ping Pong, for instance. I was so excited that actually won, but there were also a bunch of other things on the poll that didn't win because that's how polls work. So and that's just what was on that poll. So there's always things that we're wanting to watch, and we can't just burn through them all.
Totally. And we're going to eventually get to your show. Like, this is probably the thing that might be a little bit crazy, but like, we're not going anywhere.
Right. And anime is getting produced very quickly. So
if anything, we're going to just just going to have like an ever expanding library of things to talk about and stuff. From the previous week's questions, we have Alan Santos asking, do you think a dark, dramatic, serious, violent story necessitates comic relief to make things easier to digest?
And how to keep the comic relief from being jarring and obnoxious?
I would say not a lot, but maybe just a little bit to showcase that there are human characters involved.
Yep.
You don't need a dedicated comic relief character.
Yeah, you don't. Like if you think about something like, say, Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones can get very heavy.
Yeah.
And it does have comedy.
Oh my god, yes. I was just watching season 4 over again with someone, and we got to the part where, Two Swords in the premiere, where we have the Hound and his chickens with Arya.
Yeah.
That is one of the funniest scenes in Game of Thrones. That is such a funny bit, and yet it's actually super tense.
It's super serious, yeah. And the Hound is certainly not a comic relief character. Like, you could say that Tyrion is kind of a comic relief character. Not that you could categorize him to that, but because he's so witty and all that stuff.
Sure.
But you can have comedy with all kinds of different characters because they are in fact people. And one of the best ways for them to cope with a lot of the serious stuff that happens could be with humor.
Good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
Follow-up questions with Alan's there's any tips on how to create fantasy races that are not Tolkien/D&D ripoffs or humans with green skin and weird heads? I would say the main tips you should go for is, if you are having trouble designing the race, design the environment first that they're going to have their origins from, and then design a race that complements that. I would say one of the things that's a common trope with regards to making up fantasy races/species is that you try to make them the humanoid, the recognizable species or race, if you will. Every once in a while, mix things up. Don't make them bipedal, standing humanoids.
Yeah. And as for the thing of how, can you have a non-human, character be the main character and have it not be jarring,
right?
Because that can be kind of weird if you had I don't know, a minotaur as the main character. That can be done, and I've seen it be done.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where a lot of the times with that, it can be easier to do something that is more generic, because that way you can show how they're different from the general rule. But you can do anything as long as you make them a person.
Yeah. And then the last part of the question is, can a weird monster race completely different from humans in both appearance and perspective still work as a main character and be relatable to viewers and readers, just like you were saying? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Let's get some questions from Twitch here. Why are you limiting yourself to one manga read-through at a time? One Piece is definitely MHA level. This is a question from Bushido York.
The main reason is because we don't want to basically promise more than we can give out.
Yeah, we need to be consistent. Yeah. That's our main goal here, is anytime we introduce something to Twitch, it would be fun to just have ourselves be a variety stream that you just have to check every 24 hours to see if we happen to be streaming that day. But that's not how that's not how I think we should launch our Twitch in the initial bit. Also, Twitch is something that requires a little bit more solidarity around the time that we plan around it. With regards to recordings, we can record, a bit and have it be done, and then we'll record another bit 4 hours later in the day, and have no issues with that. Yeah, because those generally take around 45 minutes to an hour.
Exactly. Whereas with Twitch, that's a bit different, and there's nothing saying that we could not increase the frequency or the things that we're doing on Twitch. Right. But we want to make sure that we're never
going backwards.
Yeah, that we're never going backwards, because the biggest thing for this is that we want to make sure that we are enjoying this, because if we're not enjoying this, then you guys probably wouldn't be either. Yeah. So, just keeping it at a good rate.
Raffle 96 asks, why not partnered with Twitch yet? Pretty sure you can get it. You have to fulfill 30 days of requirements. If you guys want to help us get partnered with Twitch, encourage us to stream more frequently. I think the rule is you have to get 75 average viewers over 25 hours of streaming from 12 unique days of streaming in a 30-day period. So we might not get that immediately.
And there's a difference between partnered with Twitch and just the sub button, the affiliate thing. Yeah. That'll probably be a lot easier.
Yeah. So ever thought of reacting to non-anime shows? Yes, it is something that we are not heavily prioritizing right now. The next show that I think we came really close to reacting to that was non-anime was Westworld. Jacob and I were really debating doing a series on Westworld, and it didn't end up coming together just at the time. So maybe it'll get delayed for a future time. I think we can get one more question from Twitch. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Westworld when? That was... there you go. Yeah, we had a lot of fans that were asking us to react to Westworld. But I just say we'll have to wait and see later. I don't have an answer for you right now.
Brandon Sanderson, he's awesome. I haven't read all his stuff because it's thick books. I read Mistborn though, and that was great.
Oh, could we possibly get a top 10 ranking list of anime that you are currently watching / putting out videos on YouTube? That'd be really cool. I think we can do like a top 3 or 4.
Yeah, like currently watching, like
it's really tough because
that changes a lot.
That changes constantly. I would say right now, one of the series that I'm unashamedly just having so much fun with right now is Haikyuu.
Yeah.
Haikyuu is a show that I think was made for people like me. I've often said that I identify so much with Bokuto and that type of character who is just passionate for the sake of passion to the point where it makes them even look a little stupid sometimes. That's basically, that's it. But I would say if we could do some, say it's some top 2 or 3,
other stuff we're watching?
I would say Great Teacher Onizuka is
Great
probably
Teacher
number
Onizuka
3.
has been amazing.
Yeah, I really like a lot of the comedy stuff that we've been doing.
Yeah.
I would say that the more serious stuff like Hunter x Hunter and Monster could both be tied in second place. But Onizuka is probably third for now, at least for me. So yeah, that's where it would be. Probably Haikyuu and Monster and Hunter x Hunter tied.
And we just finished MHA.
And we just did finish MHA, so I'm not counting MHA.
Right.
And then probably Great Teacher Onizuka at third.
Yeah.
But, what would you say?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've been loving Violet Evergarden. That's just been great. Your Lie in April has been a lot of fun, too.
I can't put Your Lie in April the top 3. It's just emotionally abusing me right now. And I'm about to be done with the show soon, so that's just rough.
Yeah. Oh, and Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill.
No, sorry, Kill la Kill is
We're
number
still in the
1
beginning.
or number 2 for me. Like, yeah, I know, but
it's
been so good so far.
Fantastic. I love it. Oh man, this next question on the previous week's podcast from Queen is asking if Karasuno was in a battle to the death with each other, who do you think would win and why? Okay, so I'm going to say based on mindset, you know who are the secret killers in Karasuno's team, and they don't like seem like it?
Yeah.
Sugawara is no. You wait. Here's the thing. In a battle to the death, this is meaning they all have to kill each other.
Right.
There are people like Asahi that physically have the capacity to, but will never kill.
Well, and I would say Suga doesn't have.
No, Suga has snapped to other sides where he's hiding something.
I would say the two that I would put forth to it, and I'm not sure between these two, are Daichi, because physically he's, I would say, other than Asahi,
he's pretty capable.
He's the most capable, I think. And he does have that like very driven mindset and all that stuff, so he can do it. And then the other one is Tanaka, because if he took the passion that's just the and turned that to killing people, oh man, oh boy, that would be that'd be horrible to see.
It's a good question though. Lex the Graceful Rival, that was a quick question. How important is the target demographic when writing a story? I would say it is important in the standpoint of, selling books.
Yeah, and that can't be understated.
But that's something that isn't intrinsically making the story a better story or not. It's about how you market it, and that's something that we both don't have first-hand experience on yet. You might have that very soon, but
I would actually say it's very important. Here's why. When you think about like demographic with creating a story and like marketability and selling lots of like copies of books or or having people watch your show or whatever, a lot of times that's looked at how it's done in the negative light of sort of cashing out for like just undercutting the quality. But I would actually say that if you are being very intentional with your demographic, you can have it be a lot better, because you can basically have something that will specifically speak to them in potentially very deep ways, and also talk up to your specific audience that you're gearing towards.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Said, should the writer put a lot of focus on pandering to the target demographic? I would say
pandering
is a very specific word.
Yeah.
So I would say no, but it's about focus. Yeah. And then how much focus do you personally put into the target demographic? Do I? None, because I haven't ever written a story with the target demographic in mind.
For me, yes.
Yes, definitely.
One of my big things with this story is that I want it to be a story that young people can read and absolutely enjoy, but older people can read it too and not feel like they're getting talked down to.
And Jacob, do you have a target demographic in mind while writing, or do you just write a story without overthinking it?
like it's not super pinned down, but generally the main character's age minus 2 years is what your target audience is. So I guess that would mean my target audience is 18. But
That's pretty good.
Young
adult, basically.
Yeah, but anywhere from like 12 and up for me. Like I want people to read young.
Yeah, exactly. Red is saying remind people about Amazon Prime. I don't believe that really matters yet.
Because we don't have the sub button yet.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but yes, there is a thing where if you have an Amazon Prime account, or your parents have an Amazon Prime account, basically you can take what is known as a Twitch Prime sub and gift it to your favorite Twitch streamer.
Right.
So that is a thing.
Yeah, you need to redo it every month, but that's something you can do.
Yeah,
and it does benefit the creator as if you were paying for it.
Yeah, as if you were actually paying for it, but it's essentially free. So there's no cost or anything.
Yep.
Amber asks, any show that you would love to watch that hasn't been on a poll?
Hasn't been on a poll
at all. Ooh. I would say yes is the short answer, but I can't think of one specifically.
I started watching Keijo in my own time. Because I knew that, that's probably not a great reaction show. And I mean,
you're going to get a lot of reason, Twitch here, because they're going to be like, are you kidding me? Like, of course that would have been a great reaction series and stuff. What the hell, Jacob? Did you know that Guillermo del Toro wants to do a live action of Monster?
That sounds
I have heard
awesome.
of that, but what I've also heard is that it's never going to happen.
Yeah, live action anime adaptations can get stuck in limbo.
Well, no, the thing is Guillermo del Toro is probably one of the best allies of the live action anime adaptation side of things. He would probably do a good job at one of these things. But the thing is you need studio backing, you need funding, you need all these things, and you need to have people believe that it will be successful in order to do that. And generally speaking, most Western studios and stuff aren't about the whole anime adaptation thing. That's how this whole Netflix adaptation meme started, is because Netflix is willing to take risks on anime adaptations. So they're doing that. Let's see if we're missing any other question stuff. Oh, Lex the Graceful Rival is here. Well, hey, thanks for joining in. We just read some of your questions. Join Meet as God for Haikyuu fan club. Yes, there are. If you are if you're on the Discord, you know about the factions. But if you're not on the Discord, just know that on October 19th, we're going to be launching live Discord faction events of sorts, which will have very specific rewards for everyone on YouTube, maybe even on Twitch as well, depending on how that goes, how much things get accomplished, how many cool things get done within the Discord events and stuff. What happens with the shows that don't win the poll,
but end in second place? Do they get another chance?
Yes, they always get another chance.
That most recent poll was for all those shows that just have had bad luck with polls.
Exactly. Let's go for another question.
A, B, C, D. No,
it's Centipede Senpai. What are the things you guys love about Hunter x Hunter and things you don't like and wish was different and think you could change it? And do you guys think Hunter x Hunter will be one of your favorite shonen and possibly one of your favorite shows? So I'll answer the second question first. I think that Hunter x Hunter will end up being one of my favorite shonen, but that's not saying a lot because I haven't seen that many shonen yet.
And all our favorite shonen, all the shonen we're watching
are good shonen
that we love. So it almost even doesn't feel right to say favorite shonen because,
we think it will be one of the greatest shonen that we've ever watched.
Yeah, when as we start watching more shonen, I feel like it will end not many will go above Hunter x Hunter.
Exactly. But the first question, so the things we love specifically about Hunter x Hunter is that they do discovery-based storytelling,
which is really good.
For those of you that know what discovery-based storytelling is, it's really hard to do for a long period of time. The longer you do discovery-based storyline, the more your story starts to lack direction. At least these are the general problems you run into. You end up kind of circling back in on yourself. You end up losing track of maybe specific things, within the story that you planned out from the beginning, and it's overall it loses its cohesion as a story. But Hunter x Hunter just seems to have a god genius behind the world building,
and he probably does a lot of note taking.
On some level, one of the things with discovery-based storytelling is it's a very clever way to sneak in what could be considered retconning, but it's not retconning because you're actually then just adding value to previous bits of story that correlated so perfectly with characters' motivations and stuff because you're using a discovery-based storytelling format.
Yeah. Everything that they do with Killua is fantastic, and the way they relate him back to Gon and have that dynamic between the two characters, the two main characters, since at this point it is very much a dual main character kind of story, and have their dynamics play off of each other is really good, because a lot, like, having characters that are good on their own is fantastic, right? But when they're made, like when their arcs are made stronger by the fact that they're in the story with the other character, that's when you know you've got something special.
Seriously.
And while maybe I would have wished that it would have gotten more time all over the course of the story, right? Because like I'm not used to longer running shows. When they do it, it's prime material.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Specifically with the world building, I would say Hunter x Hunter's world building is stellar. It's nothing short of fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I would say there's a lot of things in the pacing of the show that suffers because of its emphasis on world building, but it's a very long show, and the fact that it's gone this far and actually just escalated more and more with its quality of character dynamics, character arcs, and world building over the course of all this time shows that it's got a good brain behind the storytelling overall. So that's the things we like. The only thing I would say we don't like necessarily is how on an individual basis certain episodes will lack in the pacing side of things.
Right. Okay,
let's do that one.
Oh, yeah. First of all, just wanted to say I enjoy you guys so much, and you just seem like awesome people, so glad I joined Discord so I can talk to you guys more. I've got 2 questions for you. 1, how hype are you guys for Season 4, I'm guessing of MHA? And 2, are you going to do that predictions video you mentioned in the last episode?
We will see. It's a question of whether or not we'll do it when Season 4's release date is announced, and we'll do it like a little bit before. It's probably just a timing thing. So I would say yes, but when, we'll see.
Yeah, that's the real question.
Yeah, we're really hyped for Season 4.
Yeah, Season 4 is going to be fantastic.
I think that we were a little worried about MHA Season 3 when the Battle Royale thing kind of went about.
Yeah.
And you could tell that was an in-between breather arc. So we were like, okay, fine, it's not going to last that long.
Right.
And then once the whole Toga thing got introduced, we were like, oh, okay, now this got a lot more interesting.
Right. And then, of course, afterwards...
And then afterwards, they had the Deku Bakugo
That was the prime stuff.
That was so good. Oh yeah.
Let's
Let's see if there are any other Twitch-related questions. So keep asking your questions, guys.
A lot of people asking for us to do Danganronpa.
Yeah, well, we'll see about specific Twitch Let's Play requests and stuff. Since you like comedy anime, will we see Grand Blue or Asobase
in the polls anytime soon? They're both hilarious.
I think we had some recommendations for Grand Blue very recently, but not as much as that we would put it to the front line of all the polls.
We've been really spoiled when it comes to anime comedies. Like, when I think of, like, anime comedies that I love, it's like Konosuba and, like, Fumofu, right? Over a decade apart. There are probably other great... Oh, well, yeah, and then there's, like, GTO. So, yeah, each about a decade apart. There are probably a lot more amazing anime comedies out there, but, like... As far as ones that we'd be so hyped to see that we'd want to react to them specifically, that's a bit more up in the air.
Question from last week's Giorno. What's your opinion on time travel shows? Generally love them. Do you focus on making the story make sense and create a complex web of time travel confusion nonsense, or do you break logic with your own rules to tell a nice story? So these seem like both compromises that you don't necessarily have to make.
Right, and they seem like for very specific time travel shows.
Yes.
Because when you say a time travel show, there's a difference between a show that has time travel and a show that is
Doctor Who.
Right. And a show that is about time travel.
Like Steins Gate.
So with something like Steins Gate, that is probably the best best and almost only example I would say of a true time travel show where it's about time travel in and of itself, not just using time travel for the plot purposes, right?
Right.
And for like when it's not, the less it is about time travel, the more you can have the time travel be simplified, right? But if you're trying to like go into time travel, then make sure it's consistent, and makes sense and all of that stuff, because otherwise, like, that's what your whole story hinges upon.
Right.
You know, don't want it to fall flat.
Next question is from Tanya, the future writer. It says, "Hi, Caleb and Jacob. Here's my question. If Class 1A became villains, then who do you think would make the most lethal villain? I think Momo, because as Jacob said, she could make a sniper if she wants to also. Do you think the world would be doomed due to villain Todoroki?" So I actually think the most terrifying villain, because of their nature currently being so opposite to a villain, would not be either of those two. It would be Uraraka. Because if Uraraka became a villain and she thought about how she could use her quirk.
She does have a weight limit, though. It's stupidly high, but she does have a weight limit.
But still, she breaks the rules of physics, and if she pairs up her quirk with anyone, like almost anyone,
she could just cause all kinds of mayhem.
The really big thing holding her back right now is that she's young, she's naive, and she doesn't know how to use her quirk.
And she doesn't want to be destructive with
and she doesn't want to be that lethal with it.
Yeah, like there, because just any kind of like superhero that goes to try and stop her, she touches them once and just throws them up into the air.
Yeah. Why does she have to release?
Yeah, why does she have to release? Let them go into space, you know? Or, fine, release an hour later. You know, like, they're dead.
They're dead.
They are dead.
Terminal velocity.
Like, unless you wanted to go into the sort of, like, anime physics where things like inertia and stuff don't really matter. Yeah. You know, these people are still people. They are squishy meat sacks. Dead.
They will die. Exactly.
Yeah.
We have some people saying, "Hello, bros. Hey, Gagurum. Good to see you here."
Do we watch Stranger Things? Yes.
Yeah, we watch Stranger Things. Ever heard about Log Horizon? Yes.
That's the not SAO, right?
Yes, and it is on our list. Maybe do a shonen only poll after Hunter x Hunter is over.
Possibly. We are watching a lot of shonen right now.
Yeah, surprisingly, like, you know, shonen are probably our most popular genre show right now. So we'll see about that. Some repeat questions. Are you planning on reading the Hunter x Hunter manga after the show is over?
Possibly.
Not necessarily, but we'll see. Is it weird to think that you've watched double the number of episodes of Hunter x Hunter than MHA?
That is kind of weird. But at the same time, like, I don't see MHA as being long.
Like, I don't. Well, yeah, but he's making the point that, like, that's how many Hunter x Hunter episodes we've watched too. How are you going to deal with spoilers in here? This can be quite a spicy and wild place. We have a lot of parameters in place and a lot of awesome mods.
Yep. And this is also,
we'll handle it.
Yeah.
We're pretty vicious, actually. Like one of the things that I think people like get almost a little bit annoyed at is that we haven't been spoiled. Like, the last time we were spoiled on something was like the freaking Nomu didn't get punched out into space in like season 1 of MHA.
Right, and that like ended up like being said in the very next episode. So
barely a big deal. So it's almost a little bit scary how good our system is, at least what we've had so far. So we'll just take that over to Twitch.
Yep.
But
don't try and spoil us.
Right. Have you ever taken a test to see your Nen type? And if yes, what is it? We have.
Caleb's a specialist, and you're a manipulator. Yep.
Yeah. Let's answer a YouTube question.
Yeah.
ABCD asks, I know Jacob won't be playing anything other than Divinity Original Sin 2. Well, we'll see. But is there any possibility of Caleb playing a video game with or without Jacob watching on Twitch? This is a great question to ask and answer right here, right now.
Yes.
Because the answer is yes. And Jacob probably will be playing something other than Divinity Original Sin 2 at some point in the future.
My whole deal of like no video games was because it was like just not productive uses of my time and I was spending way too much time on it. The fact that there is now, strangely enough, a reason to play video games potentially and have it be productive, kind of like puts that into a different perspective.
And you're also coming up on the end of your book.
Right. That's the other big thing. Yeah.
Bilgewater asks, who is your favorite female character in Black Lagoon?
I'm guessing Revy would be cheating.
I'm guessing because one of the things that's the issue here is that your answer is either Revy or Balalaika.
Yeah,
like, I mean, why is it anyone else?
Yeah, and that's one of the things about like Black Lagoon because it handled Revy and Balalaika amazingly,
very well.
But the other female characters, like, let's be real, they're there to be
bad.
They're there to be badass fan service, like characters.
Yeah, and that's actually a cool thing is that I think you prefer Revy because of the character dynamic with Ra.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
And I prefer Balalaika because
Balalaika is awesome.
I love that type of character, and I've only seen like 3 of them.
Right.
I would say Olivier Armstrong is close as a more like PG version of that.
Yeah.
But
I
as for
the
that
person that you do not want to mess with, like even among all the other characters of Black Lagoon, like that's awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Carter Sordak asks, what are your thoughts on Killua's character journey? Where is he on your list of favorite characters in anime ever? Oh,
we don't have a list really of favorite characters in anime ever, unless it's like top 3 maybe.
Yeah. I would say that Killua's character journey is one that I want to see actually get resolved. The scary thing is that because Togashi is not doing well health-wise, I worry for for him because I mean, who knows if Hunter x Hunter will actually end.
Yeah, and I feel like with where we're at in Hunter x Hunter, it's like we're just now seeing it fully, like all the good stuff with Killua and everything. We're just now to see it really start to like bloom and like get into its prime time.
Yeah,
and the show is
what Killua is doing
almost over.
Yeah, at least in the anime,
percentage wise, Yeah.
Queen asks, has there ever been a character death that has affected you greatly? Well, yes.
We're not gonna say them here.
Which character death that's kind of a not spoiler,
Right.
Because like a lot of people know about it.
So
hey, let's just say that show, like a show that where the death is like the death and.
Well, wait. So, but we don't actually say the name of the show, right? Because.
But they won't know who the death is regarding.
Okay, so I would say that in anime there are 4 shows that have that like are the top 4 just like legendary deaths. One came out before the year 2000. Well, okay, yeah. And then let's see. One is Studio Bones.
There you go.
One is Studio Bones.
So you guys as Twitch chat, you have to divine exactly which deaths he's talking about.
One is Gynax.
Oh, yeah.
And then one
that's
is...
the one I was going to say.
One is Sunrise that is not before the year 2000.
One is Sunrise at the very, like, near the end of the show.
Yeah. But,
yeah,
so those 4, I would say...
Those 4 are probably some of the most legendary and most affecting
and those, like,
anime.
How can those not affect you greatly?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Let me see if we can catch up on things with regards to questions here. There are a lot of comments and stuff. Feelings on a show that are more episodic versus plot-driven. I prefer linear plot-driven shows.
But like Violet Evergarden, for instance, has been doing a fantastic job with a largely episodic narrative.
Yeah. Question for Caleb, going into Berserk and One Piece, what do you know of the series so far? I don't really know much about One Piece other than that they're pirates and they're searching for the One Piece. I don't really know anything other than that. With Berserk, I've watched the 1997 anime, so that's the gist of it. Will you guys re-upload your taken down videos on YouTube? For the most part, yes. There are some that will be tough to figure out ways to bring back up. YouTube is being a pain right now. Just say that and stuff. What other manga do you have planned after Berserk? I personally recommend The Promised Neverland and Battle Angel Alita.
Okay.
We'll take down those recommendations for sure. Just One Piece for now.
Yeah.
Because One Piece is going to take a long time to finish. We'd love to hear Jake's theories and expectations about Berserk after the eclipse. Caleb also, though he talked a lot about it in episode 25 reaction. Yeah, that'll be for the manga discussions and stuff that we'll be having on Tuesday. Any of you not played Kingdom Hearts? If not, play it and stream it. Neither of us have played Kingdom Hearts. We know really nothing about it other than it's that confusing Disney
like crossover crazy
shenanigans. Yeah. Thoughts on episodic based anime? We already answered that question.
Let's get some more of the.
Get some more of the YouTube ones in here. Yeah.
Okay.
Marco asks, is there some kind of guide, site, YouTuber, or just some way you would say can help teach me how to start out learning how to write or make a story? Or do you just go in and try it for yourself? Well, the main thing about learning how to be a writer and stuff, I would say, is you need to put in the hours. Yeah. You need to put in the words.
You got to just do it.
You got to just do it.
Because
if you spend too much time trying to plan to be a good writer, you'll never be a good writer. So if you're looking for a guide and you're already currently writing, you're already putting in the work and stuff, there are tons of resources out there. We are not the best people to probably find a springboard to other resources and stuff.
Yeah, but I know a couple.
We know a couple, but maybe just go and Google search and just spend some hours and hours just looking at online.
There's a saying that you have to go through 1 million bad words to get to your first 100,000 good ones. 100,000 is about what a novel will be. So
that's a great one.
There's that. Read a lot. Because, just generally consuming media, ideally in the same medium that you're going to be creating media, that is how you learn. But pattern matching and all that stuff. And then Brandon Sanderson has some lectures on YouTube. There's 12 of them. They're about an hour long each on different aspects of stories, and they're fantastic. They're not comprehensive on absolutely everything, but I'd watch those.
Ever heard of Mushishi? It's a pretty high-rated anime on
Mal.
Yeah. I've actually seen a couple random episodes of it. Mr. Sweet, white-haired guy going around and helping people. It's very, very wholesome. Very feels-oriented show as well. A new One Piece box set is probably coming out in 1 year, so you'll probably get the next 23 volumes before finishing Berserk. Cool.
Okay.
First, what is your opinion about Edgy, since you don't watch so many? Second, have you watched No Game No Life? If you don't, has it already been on a poll? No Game No Life hasn't been on a poll because it's one of those shows that I think that's popular, but a lot of people have been like, you might not like it that much.
I saw it.
And yes, you've seen it.
Might not like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's answer some more YouTube ones here. Oh, Senor, if one day Jacob were to wake up in Caleb's body and vice versa, what would you do? Well, I would suck because I wouldn't be good at Ultimate Frisbee anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you still have the mental stuff, but yeah.
So would this be a thing where we would become basically an FMAB storyline where we'd be trying to get our original bodies back?
Or would this be more like Your Name? And since we're brothers and everything, we'd be able to figure out this is happening pretty quickly. Yeah. So, I would start writing still because that doesn't depend on a body.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but that's a hilarious question.
That would make the introductions for the videos very interesting.
Yeah. Link asks, is it possible to craft a multi-layered functional story without commonly used meta-structuring methods like the hero's journey, etc.? While the usage of these underlying thematics gives stories a solid and working backbone, I feel like it makes, as soon as these structures are discovered, the story a bit predictable. Yes, the thing is you just don't use all of them. You just use some of them.
And you use them in creative ways. A lot of the times I'll not realize that something is the hero's journey until the story's over.
Yep.
And that's not because I'm not paying attention. It's because they do a really good job with it. And the fact that these things exist, they exist for a reason. So can just because something's predictable does not mean it's bad, right? You can have something where you know it's going to happen and you're like, yeah, it's going to happen this way, right? And they're hoping it happens that way. And then you do it, you deliver on it. And then they're thrilled, right? As opposed to being like, I knew that, Make it about the journey.
Yeah, I would say that it is really funny how the meta structure of a story is something that most of us don't realize is there on first go through. Okay, hold on. let me talk from a personal experience. When I'm going through a story, generally, at least a book, let's use a book for an example, I speed read the first time. I go through it very quickly. It's usually because I'm enjoying it. When the story gets kind of towards the end and stuff, I slow down a little bit. But once I've finished it, if I liked what I read, I'll go back through it again slowly, and then I'll start to pick it apart and stuff. So I don't know if that solves the problem, meaning that generally speaking, when you see these structures, it makes the story a bit predictable. I think that in general, there's going to be things about stories that are just going to be predictable no matter what, because you start consuming enough stories, you realize how little new creative content is actually out there.
And usually, to do something completely different is not a good idea, because the fact that those patterns exist, they exist for a reason, because that's generally what makes the best storytelling. You want to have those tweaks be very selective.
Yeah, exactly. Gozi asks, what would differentiate a good plot twist versus a bad plot twist?
So, when you have a good plot twist, as soon as the plot twist happens, you're like, oh, that makes so much sense.
Yes.
Whereas with a bad plot twist, you're like,
why?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What personality traits do you find the most interesting or compelling in a protagonist? I would say that it's not about the detailed personality traits. It's about the contrast. It's about having, say, if a person is honorable, like, say, Ned Stark from Game of Thrones and stuff, bring up that thing constantly that they did in the past that was dishonorable. They, or cheated on their wife, basically. Right. And there must have been a great reason for that, right?
Or the fact that they're honorable in a land where everyone is, like, lying backstabbers.
Sure.
Right? And they should, like, it's one of those things of, like, they're honorable, but should they really hold on to that, even in the circumstances that they're in?
Yeah. I would say specific personality traits don't necessarily make a good protagonist. It's about how you frame these personality traits against the backdrop of whatever the story is.
Yeah.
It's like how Guts, when you bring him in the very beginning, first episode of Berserk, he's haunted. He looks like he's worn down and broken, and the world looks like it's just gone through hell and stuff. But then when you see him fight, you realize that he's a struggler, that he has almost a little bit of a darkness inside of him, that he's wanting to lash out at those that have brought pain upon this world. And you're like, whoa, he represents the part of humanity that isn't just being petty, it's being like, how dare you think you can just trample on all of us like this?
And Guts is a fantastic example of a character type, not specific personality traits, but a character type that usually is done very, very badly. It's those specific conflicts and contradictions and stuff, those things that make him human, that make him a really good main character. Any main character can be a good one as long as they're a person.
Yep. All right. Continuing question that is, to what extent can a story become dark without necessarily being edgy?
Okay. Here's a good litmus test. So, dark, right? Darkness imprisoning me. All right, that's cool. Awesome.
Right.
But when the dark aspects of it are there to add an idea of coolness almost to the story, that's when you're being edgy, right?
Yeah.
You can be dark as much as you want, but especially if the reaction from the characters is something that it's like, it's no big deal, or anything like that, you're going into edge territory.
Right.
And they don't have to specifically be doing that, as long as what they are doing is done in a way to elicit the response from the audience that, there's all this dark stuff happening, but they're super awesome. You can do that and have it be fine. Ned Stark is a great example, an honorable person in a world that is dark and twisted, right? But, so darkness does not mean edgy. And the reasons why people say edgy are very specific. So just avoid those, unless you want to have them in there.
Yeah, I would say that one of the things that's just a thing that I would say specifically is that the thing about being edgy, I would say, also comes from a little bit of the shock value aspect of it.
Sure.
So if you're constantly jumping around the basically jumping or moving the story back and forth between the build up towards a shock value thing only to just recycle that kind of structure over and over and over again, it's lazy, but I would say you then blow your cover that this is just an edgy story.
Sure. And a lot of the times and building up for like shock things, there's very specific shock things that usually end up getting attributed to edgy stuff.
Yeah.
When it's, all about showing how dark and terrible the world is, that's when you're getting into edgy stuff. You can have shock things that are shock things. Like, if a character dies, right, I would not consider that to be an edgy thing. But if it's like how the character dies, it's like, okay, then you could be going into edgy territory.
Right. Let's do a couple more Twitch questions before we go to the final YouTube question.
I see.
Revelry in the dark.
C.S. Lewis or J.R.R. Tolkien?
Oh,
I mean,
Tolkien.
I'd say Tolkien. But not to discount Lewis, because
Lewis was more of a philosopher, I would say.
Well, and he was also more of a he told fairy tales.
Yes, that's true.
Tolkien built a mythos.
Yes.
Like he built an entire world and all of that stuff. C.S. Lewis told much simpler stories that, I mean, I like Tolkien stuff more.
They were allegories.
But their simplicity cannot, don't have that just make you devalue them, if that makes sense.
How do you handle when you're watching a show and you feel like this show is not good or that you don't enjoy, neither you enjoyed in the beginning? Do you take it to the end or do you consider dropping it? From Artur.
I mean, I would feel like, of course, we'd consider dropping it because it's the question of would we drop it?
Yeah. So this hasn't happened yet, but there was a show that we were watching that we were considering an entirely new type of series just because this show was so ridiculous. I think it was Izetta the Last Witch. And
no, it was
Akame
ga Kill.
Akame ga Kill. Well, the thing is, Akame ga Kill is pretty popular for some people, but we loved making fun of how unnecessarily edgy the story was,
especially when put in context with the English dub. It just made it stick out like a sore thumb. It was
we
wonderful.
Have some friends with not so good taste in the anime side.
Well,
of things.
I mean, hey, we all had don't judge someone by their taste, because odds are you had taste like that at one point.
Yeah.
Right? And then you realize that that's not all there is.
Yeah, I agree. It was just the context of them saying this is the greatest show ever. When people throw around the hyperbole of this is the greatest show ever, I'm like,
it's like, okay, we have some good stuff to show you.
Yeah, that means it's our turn to show you what is some good stuff, like a silent voice,
Yeah.
Do you like Webtoons? If so, have you heard about Tower of God? It is an amazing story. I really hope it gets animated.
I have not heard about that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that one. But
I did read...
Wait, no, go ahead. No, you go.
So I read I Love You for a while because it was just hilarious and really funny. I don't keep up with it anymore because I felt like it was focusing a bit too much on the romance than just the fun of everything. But
okay.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what Webtoons are. I assume it's just web-based cartoons.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, then I've probably seen a couple of those, but they were comedy-based, and I don't remember what they were. We're talking 4 or 5 years ago. So,
gotcha.
Long before the channel and stuff. Let's see. Hey, Jacob, what about a manga spoilers live stream for Attack on Titan? Ever since I found your channel, I'm wanting to hear your opinion on it.
Maybe, possibly. I mean, we are going to
say no.
Yeah, let's say no for now.
Get in the Discord and chat with him about the
Discord is the best place
manga
for things
spoilers
like that.
there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite stand so far? What kind of stand would you like to see? My favorite stand is probably the magnetism stand. Yeah. No. My favorite stand was either Jay Giles' stand. The reflections in the mirrors and stuff.
Yeah.
Loved that. That was really cool. I really also liked Indul's stand with the manipulation of water, and it was more so the character of Indul with sensing the tremors in the sand and stuff. That was really cool.
For like a stand specifically, I really liked the sun stand. I liked the idea of a stand that could get that like crazy and ridiculous. And I mean, okay.
What?
Silver Chariot has armor, so I feel like I have to mention that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys know what my
tough.
favorite stand is to do impressions of, right?
Well, yeah, Star Platinum, of course.
I don't want to bust it. Well, by the way, guys, we have a new mic. Let us know if you like the audio quality here, because this is what we've got so far. We don't know if it's good enough to handle
reactions
a loud
or screaming and getting crazy and all that stuff.
So yeah, it might be just a podcast thing for a while. We'll see.
Or just a Twitch thing. Or
what is your favorite
something.
magic type in a classical fantasy scenario like arcane, divine, dark? Ooh, I love arcane magic that involves runes and old stuff. Kind of like
I love
Skyrim's
when magic gets into that.
Skyrim's Dragonborn kind of magic with the word-based runes.
Not necessarily
and stuff.
magic itself, but for like as far as D&D classes go, the divine classes are some of my personal favorites.
And I'm caught up to the part in the chat where people are trashing a Manga kill. Especially in the dub, I guess.
Yeah.
Will you be watching Mob Psycho Season 2 regardless of polls? That might be a good seasonal show. We'll see.
I mean, I hope so, because I really want to see that.
Yeah, people that are involved in Discord factions, by the way, those of you that win, whichever faction wins, gets to choose the next seasonal
just a bonus
series.
show that we watch too.
Yeah, so might be
pretty
a good
cool
reason to get in there.
And the thing is, it only works if like there's a certain like tier reached that involves team efforts from all the factions. So
that's actually not true.
Oh.
Jacob's not involved in Discord factions, so don't listen to anything he says.
Yeah. I'll shut up about that stuff. But yeah, anyways.
Stands, Nen, or quirks? I would say Nen. I would say stands.
I'd say Nen hands down because with stands and quirks you just have something and you're stuck with it, right? Whereas with Nen you can develop it. You can develop it however you want.
Okay, the audio is nice, mic is good.
Awesome.
Sweet. Does it sound silky and delightful? Yes.
Let's do some more questions.
Let's do the final question.
Yeah.
If you guys had to judge between Avatar: The Last Airbender and Haikyuu based on the characters' writing only, which one has a slight win and why? It's Avatar: The Last Airbender right now because it's finished and it has an ending that resolves multiple character arcs, specifically Zuko's character arc, which is by and far one of the greatest character arcs in animated television, but maybe also in television.
Right.
Because it completes. It has the beginning, the middle, the stuff throughout the middle, and the end, and it's wrapped up. Most character arcs don't get that quality of a treatment. There's all this messy stuff that happens in the way, and then the ending is usually some kind of...
Let's take it one step further, actually. Most characters don't have arcs.
Oh, shoot,
Most characters that are good characters have characterization, which is different.
Yep.
So... even with Haikyuu, I would say that most of the characters in Haikyuu do not have arcs. And that's fine. There's a crap ton of them.
Yes.
And as far as characterization, they do stellar jobs. And when they do the character arcs, again, stellar. But, yeah, like a lot of the characters, when we think about them and why we love them so much, it's because they're so likable, not because they have amazing arcs.
Yep. Well said.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the podcast section here. So, Jacob, let's let them know where they can watch this podcast next week.
Yes.
Be sure to check out our Twitch channel, Semblance of Sanity, or twitch.tv/Semblance of Sanity _YT.
Yep.
Follow us there. Get involved in the live stream of this here so you can get your questions answered. And yeah, we'll
and it is
there.
Mondays at 3 p.m. You know, the whole time that we can get it uploaded to YouTube's going to be a little bit different.
We're not ending the Twitch side of things immediately, though, guys. We'll stick around for a few more minutes and stuff to answer some questions we might have missed from you guys. But this is the end of the podcast for that. So we'll see you all in the next one. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.